man, she's so quick. Right here with me. Welcome. By now, you've already seen the thumbnail and the title. You know that we're just teaching how we make our mineral mix for our sheep. Quick little run around just to kind of show you and give you an understanding of what we're doing around here. So we raise Katahdin and Katahdin-Dorper cross sheep. We do have a few that have a wool breed mixed in somewhere down the line. This is the barn that they stay in during the winter. They're in here roughly from December 15th until March 15th. Just kind of depends on how lambing season hits and also how winter hits. We do rotational grazing, so we don't really run out of grass. We generally are pressured to push them in because of lambing season. So the first thing we're going to talk about is what we mix in this mineral mix. The first thing that we need is 50 pounds of stock salt. And it's literally just straight salt. There's nothing else added to it. If you flip it over to the back, it'll tell you their guaranteed analysis, and every mineral that's produced, whether it's for sheep, cattle, whatever, has to have this on here. Anyway, it'll tell you right here that there's a minimum salt content of 95% and a maximum of 98%. Yeah, of course, there's some foreign debris that's probably in there. And then if you go to the ingredients, it'll tell you what it is. So you got salt, and then you got yellow prussiate of soda free flow agent. Now, obviously everything is going to have a little something extra, and you're never going to get just pure salt. However, this is what we need for our mix. So you can get this at any farm store, and that's actually where we buy it from. Now, we're not sponsored by anybody. We do buy, like I said, we buy all the salt. We buy that from a local farm store. And then we buy all the minerals from Premier One. The first mineral that we're going to talk about here, we buy it in a 50-pound bag. And it is sheep and goat AD&E premix. So it has, basically it's a vitamin premix for livestock, but specifically for sheep and goats. And it'll tell you the content that it has again. So calcium content, or calcium minimum, is 13.2%. Calcium maximum is 15.8%. Vitamin A minimum is 2 million IUs per pound. Vitamin D minimum, 200,000 IUs per pound. And vitamin E minimum, 60,000 IU per pound. Tell you the ingredients again: calcium carbonate, processed grain byproducts. Yeah, I don't even know what that word is. Trosophilol acetate. It's a source of vitamin E, I guess. Vegetable oil, vitamin A, acetate, that. It's a preservative. And vitamin D3 supplement. Now, the directions on this, just like on the other mineral that I'm about to show you, it states that you're supposed to add to a mineral salt mixture at a rate of 2 pounds per 50 pounds of salt. So basically, for every one bag of these, every 1 50-pound bag of salt, I'm going to add 2 pounds of the vitamin AD&E premix. And you'll notice that we have all these in a airtight container. Keeps it to where we don't have to worry about moisture getting in and ruining the content. The next thing we have is sheep and goat selenium and iodine premix. Come back, there we go. Again, calcium minimum of 31%, maximum of 36%. Iodine minimum is 1%, and selenium minimum is 4,500 parts per million. That's what ppm is. So again, it'll tell you the ingredients: sodium selenate, calcium carbonate, magnesium sulfate, iron oxide, zinc sulfate, mineral oil, ferrous sulfate. I'm not sure what that is. Can't pronounce it either. Dihydride. Yeah, you can see this. You probably might be able to enunciate them better than I can. Anyway, sodium molybdate, cobalt sulfate, and these are in order. So all the ingredients lists are always in order of what's in the product the most. So in this case, there's more sodium selenate than there is calcium carbonate, and there's more calcium carbonate than there is manganese sulfate. There's more manganese sulfate than there is iron oxide, etc. You get the point. So this is also purchased through Premier One, and it specifies that you're supposed to mix 1 pound of selenium and iodine premixed with 50 pounds of salt. So 1 pound of this for every 50-pound bag of that salt. Now we have this broken down a little bit more to a science. You'll notice on here it says 3 pounds. So if you take your phone out, so if we take our phone and we take 50, we divide it by 16, we get 3.125 pounds. So 3 1/8 of a pound basically. And we do this so we have 3 pounds of salt because that's really close to what it is. We're dividing it by 16 because there are 16 ounces in a pound. I say that because the trough that we have in here doesn't hold as much as the trough that we have outside. The outside trough holds a lot more mineral, and we actually, unless the weather is showing it's going to rain a lot or something of that nature, we usually fill it up pretty full, and it'll last them for, if it didn't rain, for instance, 50-pound bag with the 2 pounds of iodine and the 1 pound of selenium. Mix it all up. That would actually last them for about 2 weeks. In the barn, we don't give them that much because it won't fit, and all it does is draw moisture because it's much more humid in this barn than it is outside, for instance. So that's why we're dividing that up. And then, like I said, so each of these are based off of using a 50-pound bag. So I'm going to divide the 50-pound bag by 16 ounces so that I can convert how many ounces I need of these two to add to my 3-pound mixture to get what I'm looking for as far as my mixture rate. So, like I said, goes in here, and then we take this. So the AD&E, we actually have this set up to where if the cups get mixed up, it won't matter. So this is marked for 1 ounce. That's what these random black lines are around here. And if you look at it from the side, you can't. If you look at it from the side, you can't see nothing. But if we put a light from our flashlight on our phone or something of that nature, it'll show us exactly where we're at. And yes, you could absolutely use something different to do that. But you can see how it shows up on there, shows you where you're at. Kind of handy, right? Anyways, so the vitamin A, D, and E premix, we'll do this once, and then we'll fill it up again like that, and we'll put it in again. Main reason is because I don't want to oops and mix these 2 cups up and just not realize it and make a mess of the mineral mix. So anyways, we take that and we'll dump it in here. And then, that's my lunch bell, so I'm gonna have to get going soon. Anyways, we do the same thing with this one. I hear it, I'm coming. We do the same thing with this one, except for, again, this one's marked for 1 ounce, and the selenium premix only takes 1 ounce in this case because we're mixing it with 3 pounds. So again, we would dump that in there. Now, once we dump them both in there, we'll take this, and we used to mix it like this. We'd just mix it back and forth. However, we found it's just much simpler to take this 5-pound or 5-gallon bucket basically, and just mix it in like this. And then once you put it in there, we'll just sit there and we'll rotate it over. So now if you, hopefully you can see, if I don't block the light. So as I'm rotating it, I shouldn't see any clumps of the premix of either kind. So tan or red, shouldn't see any of it. It looks like it's actually mixed pretty good already. Now, once we do that, we're gonna pour it right back into our 3-pound container. What's up? Enjoy. You want some of that? I'll try some. It's a little salty. Now you don't have to mix it back into the, or put it back into the container like we did. You can pour it out of the 5-gallon bucket, obviously. It makes it easier for us to just carry that container in there and pour it into their trough. Because I'll show you these containers real quick. They're very simple. I think my wife picked them up at Walmart. Or maybe we ordered them on Amazon. I can't remember. Anyway, they're airtight, and as you can see, so that's 50 pounds. Well, a little less than 50 pounds. That's probably about 46 pounds. of the iodine premix in there. And then over here, you have roughly 40, I don't know, a few more pounds. So there's probably 46 or 8 pounds in here. So as you can see, one definitely takes less space than the other. But the key is to keep these in airtight containers so that you don't have to worry about moisture getting in and kind of clumping them up and making them not mix well. The salt, hopefully you can see this, it is in a metal can. If you're gonna put it in a metal can like we did, just make sure that you're gonna put a plastic bag in here. If you don't, what'll happen is it'll rust out. The salt will destroy that. So, and that holds, that's 4 bags in there, so it's 200 pounds of salt. Well, there's less than 200 pounds in there now, I guess. But let's, I'll show you guys how we administer this now. They get kind of excited about the mineral, but they're also really excited about their grain. They're very excited. And they always are whenever we go down here to open the gate. The funny thing is, the lambs know that the adults are about to go outside. They're going to start running their laps. And there they go. They're going to start running their laps. These guys continue to run behind us. We hopefully are not going to get run over by them. I know, Joy. I know. In case you're wondering, Joy is a bottle baby. Her mom did not produce any milk, and so it's not really helpful for her. We're going to push all of this down because you can see all that moisture that it drew. Push all that down here. No point in putting all that moisture in the fresh stuff. There we have it. It's all the fresh mineral. Now we don't put it in there at the same time that we give, or sorry, we don't put it in there while they're in here. Mainly because we know that all they're gonna do is they're gonna rush over there and try to eat it because they think it's something special. Which, yeah, it is kind of special, but you put it right in front of them, it's just like having a bucket of grain. They're just gonna go and gorge on it. Now, the other thing we do is we have a special grain mix. You guys ate it all already pretty much. We have a special grain mix made for these guys, and it's got pre and probiotics in it, and we feed them. The intent is to give every adult 1 pound per head per day. So every adult gets 1 pound of grain a day, ideally. Now, is there some fatties that eat more of it? Absolutely. Here comes all these guys to see some sunlight. That's just what we do on our farm. I hope it's helpful for you all and maybe gives you a basis to go off of yours. Not saying it's the only way, not even saying it's the right way. It's just the right way for our farm. So, like I said, these guys get a lot of their grain, or sorry, a lot of their nutrients through their grains. It has all these minerals in it already, but we still leave it out because we want to make sure that they're not short on it. Selenium is an incredibly important mineral for sheep. It is basically, without it, they can be paralyzed because their nerves can't fire their muscles. And so they could be in perfect health other than the fact that they're selenium deficient and they'll be paralyzed. They won't be able to move or anything. So pretty crappy deal. So make sure that they have the minerals that they need. Like I said, we offer more of it out in the pasture because they need it out there. They definitely go through a lot more of it. 50 pounds in, like I said, about 2 weeks, roughly. Or I guess 53 pounds technically, including the salt, the iodine, and the selenium and iodine. So it does go a little quicker out there. Whereas in here, 3 pounds will last them for a couple of days. So hope you enjoyed the video. If you did, please hit that like button. Also, if you haven't already subscribed, please subscribe to the channel. We put out, this is all of our content right here during the winter, is specifically taking care of them. There might be some other odds and ends throughout because it is a farm, but mostly it's all these guys. And in the summertime, it's more hay and other farm-related chores driven. So thanks for watching. Have a blessed week. We'll see you next time.